I can't tell if you hold like this.
Dear other side, this would be a very easy letter if I started off with a list of saying what I feel needs to be changed. Instead, all I'm asking for is understanding. Understand we weren't raised different. You had a hardworking mother, just like I did. Your dad was away a lot on business. My dad just wasn't around. Understand we both grew up in fear of each other based upon stereotypes and stories our our elders told us. You was busy linking with Benz and Franks. I was busy getting Lincolns, Benz, and Franks. So please stop coming at me with all these tanks.
My name is Mom Cole II. I am 16 and I'm an incoming junior at Lincoln High School. My mantra is I'm a Black creator. I'm an only child. I'm an aspiring athlete. I am an achieving dreamer, and I am too.
My name's Isaiah Carter. I'm 19. I graduated from Reynolds High School. My mantra is I'm a bold, outspoken, passionate Black leader. I'm a role model for the next generation. I am someone's son determined to make a difference. I deserve to live, but not afraid to die for what I believe in. I am who I am, and you will not change me. We'd like to welcome you to the 2020 Rising Leaders Community Showcase.
George Floyd,
Trayvon Martin,
Breonna Taylor,
Jacob Blake,
Aura Roser,
Tatiana Jefferson,
Botham Jean,
Stephon Clark,
Alton Sterling.
Philando Castile.
Now we're just gonna have a moment of silence from those names. All right. Now, we want to thank all the friends, families, and communities that came today, and the officers who are in the audience today. In particular, we want to thank certain organizations that's helped us thrive and be able to do this year. We want to thank Tom James, so Ann and Mark Cleve, and Nathan for donating suits to each one of our interns, and for them tailoring them and making sure we look nice. Vanport Mosaic for the opportunity to tour around Portland with Kent Ford, who is a founding member of the Black Panther Party, and that's including Laura Lowe 40 and Damaris Webb. The Black Women's Luncheon participants, allowing us to have a conversation and with them being able to allow and be able to discuss their topics. Host Hawaii Cafe doing some really good lunch to us. Vancouver Avenue First Baptist Church, Pastor Hennessy for opening the doors not once but twice. First for our Community Engagement Day, and also tonight for our Community Showcase. Will M. Stevenson Photography. Will took a lot of pictures of us for Where's Bond and each of the members, and also stayed with us through the back end of the summer, capturing the moments of the interns interacting with the police. Champions Barber Shop, Jamal and Christina Lane for donating haircuts for the third year in a row. The Portland Trailblazers, Coach Terry Stotts for supporting Word is Bond and joining us for a conversation, and also to the staff, Andy Lugg, Alexa Miles, Jamal Gross, and Ashley Klingscale. Moto Yoga Portland, that includes Jennifer Reed for hosting a fundraiser for Word is Bond. Multnomah County, Chair Deborah Kafori, making sure all our interns were paid through SummerWorks. Anna, Barbara, Heather, Boyd for making sure all of our interns were paid and becoming flexible with our program needs. Representative Akasha Lawrence Spence for just supporting our organization and her work in the legislature. The City of Portland, that includes Tiffany for also supporting us through SummerWorks. The Black Male Achievement, CJ Robbins, Cupid Alexander, and the rest of the members of the team. All the enforcement agencies, Portland Police Chief Charles Lavelle, Multnomah County Sheriff Mike Reese, Lake Oswego Police Chief Dale Jorgensen, Hillsborough Police Chief Jim Coleman, or Oregon City Oregon City Police Chief Jim Band, and Washington County Sheriff Pat Garrett, PGE for their generous donation, and Vitek Intellectual Property and Dan Burry. And just for the many other people and organizations that helped donate to us that we have not said. And none of this would have ever happened if y'all haven't supported us through thick and thin. And yeah, I'm going to be hosting tonight's showcase. Tonight you'll be hearing poems, stories, raps, everything from these young, beautiful Black men. And you'll also be hearing what Word is Bond is and what we've done and why we've done it. And we've each written and spoken mantras. You've heard mine and Isaiah's earlier. These are positive affirmations for ourselves and that we've created and said before each meeting. So tonight, as each of our interns speak, you'll hear them recite their mantra. So I hope everyone's ready to see what we got for y'all. So now, now I want to turn over to my guys, Amari Roan and Jamari Atherley, to tell us about what Word is Bond is and what we've done this summer.
Hello, my name is Amari Roan. I am 16 and I go to Centennial High School, and my mantra is I am intelligent, I am looked up to, I am someone who makes way to where he needs to be, I am Black, and I am someone who never backs down from a challenge. The Word is Bond mission is to rewrite the narrative between young Black men and law enforcement leadership development, create critical dialogue, and education. Rising Leaders is a paid internship program. We've been talking with law enforcement once every week for 7 weeks. When we did meet with law enforcement, we discussed how we felt about them and listened to their side just like they listened to ours. We did most of our meetings virtually over Zoom, and it was all new to us. There were some times we met in person, but we followed COVID-19 guidelines. One of my favorite activities we did was pot and pan activity. See, with this activity, you went into the kitchen and you got a pot or pan and you had to turn it into an invention. See, yours truly came up with the Gucci spoon. See now, with the Gucci spoon, it's basically just a big spoon. You just eat with it. See, imagine you got a big bowl of cereal and you just use it as a regular spoon. It's too small. You're going to be there for hours eating that cereal. But with the Gucci spoon, we got in minutes.
I'm Jamari Atherley. I am the GOAT. I am Black. I am proud. I am talented. And I'm successful. Word is Bond's goal is not to get every young Black man to like the police or feel a certain way about the police. Our goal is to give these young Black men a place to have their voices be heard. So we give them opportunity to be able to discuss how they feel about the police and what the police should change. With me being a second-year intern, it was a lot different from what we did last year because we were able to actually meet in person every day and do our engagement days in person and go on our ropes course and camping trip and everything and go to the police training facility. But this year, everything was virtual just because, the pandemic we're going through. But we still had our goals that we wanted to accomplish, and no matter what, we were going to accomplish that goal. And we still have fun.
Next up, we have Zakia Rivers and Money Wade, aka Samaje Wade, with what our theme for Word is Bond was this year.
Hi, my name is Samaje, graduated from Madison High School, 18 years old. My mantra is, I'm determined to be great. I give guidance and knowledge to those who truly need it. I will be the man to put my friends, family, and city on the map. I'm a GOAT and a growing legend. See, everybody has a story. but not everybody's story is heard. They're all important, of course, but not everybody's story is heard. See, the theme for this year's interns for Word is Bond, it was I got a story to tell. Here in Word is Bond, we tell our stories because some people out there, unfortunately, didn't have a chance to tell theirs. So let me turn it over to my guy, Zyke here. Tell his part.
How y'all doing? I'm Zyke Rivers. My mantra is I am black, I am kind, I am compassionate, I am intelligent, and I am multifaceted. And over the summer, we've been working on a project called the Digital Archive, which can be found on our website at mywordisbond.org. And it should be up and running sometime soon, right about now. It holds our poems, journals, and any photos that we might have added over the summer. Yeah, so whenever you get a chance, feel free to check that out. So I'm gonna pass it over to my guy Malcolm again.
Now we're gonna have Trevor Wise and Cap to tell us their stories.
So my name is Cap. I go to Franklin High School. I'm 16. I'm about to be a junior over there. And my mantra is I am bold, I am hardworking and determined. I'm the next big thing. I'm a student athlete and I'm a proud Sudanese. And this is my story over the summer. So I first heard of Word is Bond through a school counselor. My dad sent me an email to sign up for it, but I was very hesitant. I didn't want to do anything this summer. I just wanted to play basketball, video games, hang out with friends, and sleep very late. But my dad thought it was a very good opportunity for me. He told me that being in this internship will help me get some good connections later in life when I'm in college, and he told me it would look good on my resume and maybe could get me a scholarship. So I filled in the application and talked to Mr. Drew on why I should be in Where's Bond, and I was accepted. Once I heard we had to wake up at 8 in the morning and talk with other interns, I was like, what is there to talk about? And that made me want to quit. But I kept going, and eventually I thought all the people were cool to talk to. And also, I liked all the lessons we learned, like learning about our rights if we ever got pulled over by the police, and the history of Portland and the police. Also, learning from each other, doing activities with the officers. I realized that it was actually a lot of fun, so I kept going. One of the things that was most interesting to me was listening to all the officers' stories. They all made they all made me think about how they have families too. I wonder how they would feel if they lost a loved one due to police brutality. They always say that they're trying to do better, but they keep making the same mistakes over and over again. But anyways, looking back, I was very happy being in this program. I'm really thankful for all the moments we had just cracking up because someone made a funny joke and all the times we made Mr. Jury mad because we wouldn't be quiet and let him talk. Moving on, I want to appreciate everyone that helped or participated in the World is Bond program for making the summer one to never forget.
All right, my name is Trevor Weiss, and I am somebody. I am black, I am smart, I am kind, I am unique, and I'm trustworthy. What I want to see in the future for black people is I want more black people opening up businesses and doing more with their youth. I also want black people to stop being scared of their talents because of what somebody else would think. Uh, I also want the younger black generation to know their rights more. So when they get older, they can go on and teach more people of their color. And I want black people, and I believe black people want freedom and equality, and they don't want violence and all this murders and stuff. And that's what I got to say.
All right. So next, we want to have Officer Spencer to tell. We have from the Oregon State Police Department. We're going to have Officer Spencer to tell us what he's personally learned from the program and what he'll take away from this experience.
Thanks, Malcolm. and it's an honor to be here tonight. As Malcolm said, my name is Spencer Rode, and I work for the Oregon City Police Department. And I was asked to speak tonight about the Word is Bond program and how it's impacted me. So right now, I'm a school resource officer, and engaging with young people is a passion of mine. So when Lawson reached out to my agency looking for volunteers for the program, it was without hesitation that I decided to participate. As a police officer, I've always felt it important to listen to what my community wants and needs. I thought it especially important for me to hear and listen to what young Black men had to say about the police and their experiences growing up. After 5 weeks of meeting with these young men, my expectations were far exceeded. I love learning about each young man on a personal level, and I loved hearing their viewpoints on many different topics. One of the most powerful experiences for me during this program was listening to the young men have conversations in multiple fishbowl exercises. As officers, we sat quietly and listened to the young men speak about a variety of different topics. One piece of a fishbowl sticks out to me, and it's something that Jamari had said. Jamari said, "The fear we have is because of what you do, and the fear you have is because of what you hear." This was such a profound statement for me and challenged me to always get to know someone before I make a judgment about them. That also spoke to how our culture has trained us to think certain ways about certain groups of people. I know during these 5 weeks, I was challenged and changed for the better. Also during the program, the young men and the officers found common ground, and we were able to build rapport with each other. I remember in one-on-one session that I had with Ristam, he talked about wanting to build better schools and community centers. I couldn't agree more with Ristam because we need to invest in our young people more than what we are currently investing. This is why the Word is Bond program is so vitally important, because it focuses on supporting young Black men and giving them a voice. I speak for all of the officers who participated in the program when I say we learned a lot, and we were challenged, and this was a fantastic experience. I just want to say thank you to Lawson for the opportunity to participate, and I look forward to doing this again next year. Malcolm?
Next up, I want to call up my guy, Ristam Haptamariam, to read us his poem, I Got a Story to Tell.
I got a story to tell. From dirt rocks and mud bricks, my parents took a trip through that East African weather. Left everything behind and had one thing in mind: my brother Michael and their unborn children. They walked into the unknown, treading the entire way, knowing that things weren't easy, but they'd see better days. Dad started scrapping metal and saved some money to his name. Bought one-way tickets and moved my family away from the destruction and pain. First Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, but found home in North Portland. Then came me, ready to take on the world head first. The neighborhood hero is the legacy I will leave behind. A statement I stand by. Just give me some time. 10,000 hours away from my own success. But what is life without making twice as many mistakes? The best teacher in my life was my own experiences, where I failed and learned who I really was. But we've come a long way and haven't even cracked the surface. Mike Capes once said, "This is for them kids on free and reduced lunches, still chasing their dreams from the Ville out to the numbers. Don't let them say that you can't. Use your heart as a compass. Rather you in rhyming, schooling, or shooting jumpers." Everything I just told you, I mean it absolutely. This is my story by yours truly. Thank you. Oh, okay.
Oh, no, I forget your
So my name is Ristam. I'm gonna be a freshman at U of O this year, and my mantra is: I'm Eritrean. I am self-reliant. I am a radical thinker. I'm always one step away from achieving whatever it is in front of me. I am Ristam, and I kind of just want to touch on my experience, like getting into Word is Bond. So initially, I found Word is Bond on like social media, and I applied, but I was like kind of hesitant because I felt like it was counterproductive to what I believed and how I felt about the police. And like when I had the meeting with Lakiana trying to explain why I thought I deserved the position, I was more so saying why I don't want to join Word is Bond. And it was like interesting, but I appreciate Lakiana and I want to give him his flowers now for being persistent and not giving up on me. And he kept on bothering me about joining the program. And I saw it for what it really was, rather than the misconception that this is like a pro police program. And it's more so to connect with each other and just vibe with each other, like outside of like what people normally see us in, our environment, what normally people see us in. And I just want to give Mr. Jury his flowers now. And thank you.
Next to the squad, I'm calling my boy Tunsin to talk about some of the guest speakers that we've had the pleasure of talking to this year.
Hi, I'm Tunsin, a rising senior at Franklin High School, and my mantra is, I'm an only child, I'm from Southeast Portland, I'm hardworking, I'm determined, I'm unbreakable, won't give up. I'm going to go over the different guest speakers we've had from Word is Bond Virtual Summer Internship 2020. Throughout the program this summer, most Thursdays every week have been used for time to invite an important guest speaker into our space, hear their story, and ask them questions. We've had a variety of different guest speakers throughout this summer. Starting in week 2, we had guest speaker Tommy Mcbrayer, a community activist from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He told us his story and some of the up and downs of his life and turning points that changed him. 9 years ago, he created an event called Tommy's Pre-Thanksgiving Dinner, which started as a small thing but turned into a community building event. Overall, he gave us useful general life advice, such as always taking advantage of second chances. In week 3, we had Rod Underhill, the district attorney of Multnomah County. This happened just a few days before he left office on July 31st, and we had a Q&A session with him about his time as the district attorney. In week 4, we had 3 different guest speakers. We had Coach Terry Stotts and Jamal Gross from the Blazers. Jamal Gross, sorry. We also had community activist Cameron Witten, who co-founded the Black Resilience Fund and raised over $1 million for it. In week 6, we physically met while following social distancing guidelines and took a tour around previous Black Panther Party sites in Portland. This was led by Kent Ford, one of the founding members of the Portland Black Panther movement. It was very interesting to see how those areas of Northeast Portland have changed since then. All the conversations we've had with guest speakers this summer definitely got us thinking and helped us learn more about the world. So thanks to all the guest speakers who took their time to talk to us.
Now I want to introduce my boy, Salman Scott, to tell us the story that he made.
Give me 1 second.
My name is Solomon Scott. I'm a 15-year-old student at Madison High School and a first-year community ambassador. I've learned a lot from Word is Bond, but I feel like the most important fact is that I listened to the other side. I listened to their stories and told them mine in turn. I learned what makes them an individual person, and they learned what makes me an individual person. Just talking like regular people while also facing the reality of what's going on in our country. Tensions are high. We don't like the police. But if you want to make a change, you have to put personal bias aside to find common ground. Though from the outside it may seem different, Word is Bond isn't just about engaging with law enforcement. The fellow Black men in this group have grown to be brothers of mine, sharing laughter and knowledge with each other over the summer. Being a part of it in general has given me a couple of firsts. Word is Bond gave me my first suit, a powerful experience for me. Word is Bond gave me my first photo shoot at Overlook Park with a view of my city, another powerful experience. I even talked to an NBA coach, and I'm very proud to say that Word is Bond was my first job. My cousin was the one who initially referred me to the program. As soon as I found out the name, I thought, dang, that's catchy. So I did some research like I do often, and I vibed with what it was about. I felt that it was as necessary 3 months ago as it is today, 3 months later. So I applied after I got my two references. One came at the last minute, and when it came, that was a lot of anxiety lifted off of me. And Mr. Jury interviewed me almost a week later. I knew from day one, without even meeting everybody, that I could rock with it. First, it was a little rocky because I didn't know if I was ready for this kind of commitment, but I realized my potential and stuck with it. The concept of getting things done through Zoom was something I had to get used to. The entire pandemic is something I had to get adjusted to. Although I wish that we could have had more in-person events, I understand that it's out of anyone's control. My favorite moment throughout Word is Bond would have to be meeting everybody in a public setting. All the laughs we had on Zoom, nothing changed at all. It's like we never even had a change of environment. I'll forever be grateful for this first year because I've learned a lot and it was needed and important in a time like this. Just to have difficult conversations and get to know new people that look like me with their own stories, with their own backgrounds, and their own experiences. I want to thank Mr. Jury and the crew. This was a hell of a summer, but we made the best of it.
Next up, I want to call to the stage Munga Sogolo to talk about the discussion that we've had with some amazing Black women this summer.
The Black Woman Luncheon was a larger part of a week in which was dedicated to giving our platform for Black women to speak up on issues facing the Black community and them as a whole. We discussed double standards in hip hop, colorism, the lack of support/respect Black women receive, and even spoke on our Black male privilege. Throughout the week, I know that I took away more and many lessons in which I will use and further strengthen. Additionally, one thing that I found in common with all of my peers here was that we all vowed to do a better job of respecting and supporting Black women's energy. One person I would personally like to thank is Leanna. She hosted the Black Women's Luncheon whilst having her baby to take care of at the same time. I would also like to appreciate the two wonderful women in which I was able to have a conversation with. This week in which I am highlighting was extremely powerful, and all my peers would be able to say the same. I know that because of this week that was centered around Black women, I and us all will do a better job of amplifying their voice.
Next up, I'll be reading my poem, I won't be the statistic. I won't be another person. I won't be the same as you. I will be more than the world. I can't let others shine down on me. I can't be the oppressor. I can't let my life go. I can be myself wherever I go. I don't endanger myself. I don't cause harm to the surrounding. I don't block myself in. I do put myself in the best possible situation. I am the destination. I am the goal to my future. I am the satisfaction I look to. I am human. All right. All right. Now to hype us up, I want to slide Dr. Dre, aka Dre Carr, over here. Still some fire for us.
Before I start your, my bad. All right, before I start y'all off, though, I want to tell you guys how I came up with the song and things. And I want to give a thank you to Mr. Rockiana and the guys because I done did this I done gotten some trouble before, and they never judged me off of it. They always treated me like one of them, and we laugh, talk to each other. There's never been no judgment, nothing. So I appreciate it from all you guys, no cap. And but how I came up with the song though, I was in detention and I had a pencil, and you supposed to level up or whatever. I didn't level up. I had my pencil in my room just to write because that's how it got me through the time in detention or whatever. So one of the staff had came in my room, took my pencil, and put me in room lock. So I was just sitting in my room all day while everybody was out. So I was just sitting in my bed. I'm like, you ain't been through what I've been through. And I'm like, dang, that's some fire right there. You feel me? So I'm like, yeah, I most definitely got to do something to that. So it just keep going in my head. But yeah, I'm gonna show y'all how what it sound like. You feel me? So you ain't been through what I've been through, and you ain't seen what I seen. At that crime scene, a lot of mothers cry. It's a war going on right there, right outside. Youngest outside taking other youngest lives. Don't act surprised, no, don't act surprised. Yeah, we trying to survive. Yeah, we trying to survive. I tell them, look, said they need to open their eyes. They judge us off the cover, never open up the book to see what's inside. Yeah, we trying to survive. Yeah, we trying to survive. I was trying to survive. It's a war outside. I gotta keep my weapon close because I ain't trying to die. Lost my cousin to the war. It hurt me inside. Yeah, it changed my life. I swear to God, it changed my life. I signed up for the war. Yeah, like it's time to ride. Like somebody gotta pay. They gotta do it with their life. I'm creeping. Yeah, through the night. My clutching on my pipe. Revenge the only thing on the young nigga mind. And I ain't thinking about no jail time. I just wanna make them feel, yeah, what I feel inside. Have you ever seen a youngin' die only in the 6th grade? I thought it was normal, man, that shit hurt me inside. And every time I leave the house, death is on my mind. Yeah, every time I leave the house, death is on my mind. But I'm a real soldier, I'ma stand tall. No, I can't go without a fight. It's the reason why. Yeah, it's the reason why we thugging in these streets and we live this best life. Cause you ain't been through what we been through. And you ain't seen what we seen at that crime scene. A lot of mothers cry. It's a war going on right there, right outside. Youngest outside taking other youngest lives. Don't act surprised, no, don't act surprised. Yeah, we trying to survive. Yeah, we trying to survive. Tell them what God said they need to open their eyes. They judge us off the cover, never open up the book to see what's inside. A lot of false hope made from a lot of lies will make a young nigga feel some type of way inside. Like he can't trust nobody, all he got is his guys. Like he can't trust nobody, all he got is his guys. But little do we know, they show fake love and boast in disguise. Cause you can't trust nobody, yeah, especially in this life. That's the easy way to go to jail or lose your life. That's the easy way to go to jail or lose your life. Cause you ain't been through what we been through. And you ain't seen what we seen at that crime scene. A lot of mothers cry. It's a war going on right there, right outside. Youngest outside taking other youngest lives. Don't act surprised, no, don't act surprised. Yeah, we trying to survive. Yeah, we trying to survive. I tell them, look, said they need to open their eyes. They judge us off the cover, never open up the book to see what's inside. You feel me?
Yes, sir. All right, now we're gonna get back to the boring stuff. We want to bring up our executive director, Lucky on our jury, to do his thing and talk about about where's Bond. And before he comes up here, I just want to thank him for so much that he's done for this summer, so much he's given us this opportunity to speak with NBA coaches, and basically a once-in-a-lifetime experience that like not everyone can have the opportunity to do, that we can tell our stories. And I'm pretty sure we all would like to thank him personally, but without further ado, Lucky on our jury.
Thank you, Malcolm. I just got so absorbed in watching everything that I forgot that I actually had to come up here and say something. This is the 4th year of Word is Bond summer internship program. And we started back in 2017, before George Floyd was murdered, before Breonna Taylor, before Black Lives Matter became a hashtag and a trending thing to do and something to put on a t-shirt. So I think it's been just an amazing journey. And every year, I'm just so incredibly proud of the young men that are part of this program that continue to speak their truth throughout everything. And as you've already seen, there's so much talent here and there's so much depth to what Word is Bond is. We engage law enforcement. That is a big component of it, but it's so much more. As Malcolm just said, a once in a lifetime opportunity. And when we were creating this program, that's what I thought of. I thought of growing up without my father. I thought of wanting to see adult role models that looked like me. I thought about wanting to be in a program where other young men, where there's one place, especially here in Portland, right, where it's so overwhelmingly white that there's not many spaces for young Black men just to be. And so that's the essence about why this was created and the outlook behind it. And even with the pandemic, we were still able to have this program, to still be able to connect through Zoom and build so many tremendous relationships. So just really proud of what we've been able to accomplish this summer and the added weight of this year. Right. It's impossible to mistake the moment of now with the murder of George Floyd and the continued deaths and abuse stemming just from last Sunday with Jacob Blake, right, in my home state of Wisconsin. And that you know, as a black man, it's incredibly hard to sit in a room with police officers. Never underestimate how challenging that is. And so as we prepared this summer and having to think, like, what am I doing? I'm leading these young men into a program where we're sitting down with people that could be potentially harmful. But at the end of the day, at the core of what I believe nonviolence is about is having dialogue, is about sitting down with people that you would consider, quote unquote, the other side, and being able to have those courageous conversations. Everyone up here it has so much courage, and the officers as well, for being able to participate, to sit down and actively listen to the other side. And that's what Word is Bond is about. And we're growing. So what I would ask you to do right now, if you've enjoyed what you've seen so far, is to please donate to Word is Bond. You can go to our website, mywordisbond.org, and you can donate to our page. And your money goes towards further programming. We have a school year program that we're going to be working on right now to help support with mental health, with academic support, right? We're going into a school year where everybody's learning from computers, and that's going to disproportionately affect Black boys. So when we talk about Word is Bond being for young Black men, and is unapologetically centered on them and their experiences and their needs. So just again, I want to say congratulations to the whole 2020 class. It's been a blast. Keep supporting. For everybody out there who's donated, who's taken their time, who's come out, who's shared our stuff on social media. Thank you so much. It means the world to us. And I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Malcolm.
All right. Now, to end off with an absolute bang, I want to welcome back to the stage Munga to read his last poem.
Hello, my name is Monga Sungolo. I'm 17 and I'm going to be a rising senior at Central Catholic. My mantra is I'm African, I'm divergent, I'm trailblazing, I am for the people, I'm one of the people, I am. And then the poem I'll be speaking is I created called A Letter to the Black Boy. A letter to the Black boy. Don't be afraid to show emotion. You get your heart broke, but that's fine. I did too, and I got right back up. Black boy, be open to change. Changing your thoughts and ideas because you are a protector, a leader. A letter to the Black boy. A letter to the Black boy who may not want to be a Black boy. Take pride in your skin that others so desperately covet. Black boy, make your mom proud. Black boy, make your dad proud. Black boy, make your family proud. This is a letter to all the Black boys. A letter to those Black boys who know nothing but pain. It gets better some days. I know not all days will be roses and sunshine, but God looks after thee, so you must try to believe, oh Black boy. If you knew your power, you wouldn't wince when people got you dismissed, but instead you'd smile. Black boy joy keeps the waves afloat, and also the do-rag. A letter to the Black boys that I can't promise tomorrow. Tamir Rice wasn't given that luxury. Trayvon didn't reach adulthood. A letter to the Black boys to live life to the fullest. Because even as a Black boy, you are posed as a threat. It's got me wondering, am I next? Are you next? This is a letter to the Black boy that doesn't fit into a black box, that doesn't fit the status quo, that doesn't conform to the Eurocentric standards that you imposed him on. A letter to the Black boy that I was once you. I was a shoeless Black boy dribbling a soccer ball on the concrete. I was the African kid my mom and dad didn't hesitate to dress up. Yeah, I got those looks. But this poem, this letter, it's a letter to the Black boy. The Black boy from the Ville and the Black boy from the Congo. The Black boy who's bilingual and the Black boy who knows everything but English. The Black boy with the fits and the Black boy with the hits. This poem's for you. Go shine, Black boy. You got a story to tell.
Wow. I just want to thank everyone virtually and who's here physically so much for coming. If you've donated, thank you so much. And thank you for listening to our stories, our poems, our raps, just everything about them. And just thank you to Mr. Jury again. I know. And now I want to open the floor for questions. So any for me, any of the guys, and Mr. Jury himself, or anyone. So yeah.
Thank you for not forgetting that. I'm actually going to invite the officers to come join us up on stage. If you just want to maybe bring a chair, there is a couple chairs there as well. You guys want to identify those chairs up there for them? So this is the Q&A. We'll squeeze in just a little bit. Yeah. So maybe we need some of you to bring a couple chairs up there. This is the Q&A section. So if you're live on either YouTube or Facebook, drop your questions in the comments right now. I just also want to recognize the officers that participate in the program, some of which are here, some of which aren't. And I'll just read their names. If you are here, you can just kind of raise your hand. But Sergeant Aaron Schmautz of the Portland Police Bureau, Officer Zach Edner of the Portland Police Bureau, Officer Matt Boyd of the Portland Police Bureau, Deputy Chris Gay of the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, Officer Brock Rosenthal of Lake Oswego Police Department, Officer Mr. James Usher of the Lake Oswego Police Department, Officer Eric Lawson of the Hillsborough Police Department, Sergeant David Edwins of the Oregon City Police Department, Officer Spencer Rhodes of the Oregon City Police Department, and then Sergeant Brandon Yan of the Washington County Sheriff's Office. So I don't know if we have any questions up there yet on social media, but we'll just start with the officer just to give you all a question, and whoever wants to come can come up here and answer it. But just after doing the program, what was your biggest takeaway from the program?
There you go. All right, Travell, thank you.
If you just want to introduce yourself too.
Yep.
Mr. Second year here.
Yep. All right, my name is James Usher. I am a second year for Word is Bond. I'm with the Lake Oswego Police Department, and I'm also a school resource officer, just like Spencer Road, except for Lake Ridge and the entire Lake Oswego School District. My biggest takeaway this year was just hearing everyone's story. Last year was a great first year experience for me. The second year was even better. There was a lot more people involved, a lot more agencies, but it was really good to hear. And I learned a lot the first year, which was active listening, for me to talk less and to listen more, just to hear their experiences, them being vulnerable to actually speak to an officer, especially me as being a white officer. I'm sure it took a lot of guts to do that. And just the courage for me to just listen and take in their story. So just hearing their experiences was a lot for me, and I appreciate them for being able to do that.
Can you just tell me what the question was? Oh, yeah. So as like you were speaking about earlier, as soon as we get off this, as soon as we get off the community showcase, we're going to launch our digital community archive. And so over the course of the summer, for the 6 weeks, the youth and the officers, each week, they had to write a journal reflecting on their experience and the larger experience of their story. And so as part of that, they also wrote poems. In their week 3 of their workshop, the officers and the youth both wrote poems. They wrote a set of 4. And so all of those will be available on the digital archive in 3 collections. One in Storytellers, which features each of the individual youth. One section is just the journals, and then one is the poetry. And it is amazing. We really want to publish all of this together into a book of some sort. So if you're out there and you have some connections on publishing, please connect us with that. But I would invite either one of the youth or the officers to just talk a little bit about the poetry and what it meant to you. Mr. Etherly.
Of course. The poetry portion of our program, it was fun. You know, people got to pretty much write poems about how they felt. It could be about the police or just in general. We also had a section of the poetry section that was based off a Nas song, which is "If I Ruled the World," and you know, everyone had a poem. You know, a few of them hit more than others. Yeah, and it was fun. Y'all wasn't doing better.
Why y'all keep giving me the mic? Is there another question that we have? So the question was, what was one thing that surprised you over the course of the summer? We'll get one of our community ambassadors and then have one of our officers answer that. And the question again was, what was one thing over the summer that surprised you?
One thing that surprised me over the summer was how fast we all connected and became a brotherhood. The first day it was pretty early, and a lot of us was just waking up, but we was cracking jokes and making each other laugh. And then over the rest of the time, we just became closer, and now we're like brothers. One thing that surprised me about the officers, that they listened very well. They listened very well, and yeah, they were actively listening to our stories as we told them, and they didn't judge us based off of the cover, and they actually read the book. One of your officers, come here.
Make eye contact with one of them.
I'm Officer Eric Lawson from Hillsborough Police. The thing that surprised me the most was I felt like coming in the program, I was in a bubble where my coworkers, my friends were all officers. And then just the first couple of interactions with these young men, they were surprised, or I was surprised, but they just didn't have a positive interaction with an officer. And so that was coming from an officer-centric point of view. It's kind of tough to hear that these young men didn't have a good interaction or didn't have a mere conversation with just a police officer. So I wanted to make sure that I listened well and I did a good job in hearing the heavy history of some of these young men. So that was the one thing that surprised me most, is just the work that law enforcement needs to do better outreach and better communication overall.
How do you feel the experience will shape your practice of public safety?
So the question was, how do you say it one more time?
How do you feel that experience will shape your practice of public safety?
How do you feel this experience will shape your practice of public safety?
Do what I said.
Mr. Boyd, I don't want to put anybody on the spot.
Yeah. So I'm Officer Boyd from Portland. So one of the things I realized is how much pain so when I saw some of the people sharing their stories, a particular individual that had a very negative experience when he was younger, and it's still affecting him now, I realize how much I can't just assume when I see somebody that they are going to give me the benefit of the doubt to start with. And I need to start from maybe the assumption that I need to treat them as if they have a legitimate fear of me when I walk up to them, and give more respect and more patience in that type of situation until I can gauge, the situation. Everybody's different. Everybody has different experiences. Many people I drive by wave and are happy, but I know there are people out there who actively avoid us because of personal experiences they've had. So that's something I took away, especially some of the young men that actually live in the neighborhood where I work, and I'm trying to keep a dialogue with them and learn from them. after this. Continue.
Yeah, go ahead. Yep, got it.
For those of you that don't know me, my name is Miguel Desmond. I'm a senior apartment broker in Oregon. I'm also an ex-college athlete and most importantly, a Black man. My question is for the officers. I'm just curious what your peers or coworkers' thoughts are on you guys being here and doing this program and why you think they're not here.
So the question was, what to the officers, what do you feel your peers think about you being here, and why are they not here? Correct?
Correct.
Who's gonna be the lucky one? Looks like Chris is coming up.
My name's Chris Gay from Lawson County Sheriff's Office. I'll keep it short and sweet. I'm here because when I went to college, I worked with youth, young men, young adults. I wanted to keep doing that. I've done a similar program before with David Douglas High School. I really enjoyed that. And then my command knew that I've done it before and have worked with kids and young men and young adults and asked if I were willing to do it. And I said I was. And I've enjoyed it and want to continue to do so. I guess the big thing with peers, when they ask what I'm doing, I tell them what it is and explain it to them. So hopefully next year, as it grows bigger, other officers, deputies will have the opportunity to do so and participate. Probably why aren't they here? The biggest thing is, for us in reality is staffing, not being able to get here and have the opportunity to in limited numbers to do that. And it's just basically that. It's not that they don't want to. It's just not enough people have not enough numbers to be able to come to do that right now. And that's about it right now. So I think that's it, right?
Well, you said there is one more thing to add to that. So it's kind of like, you just said your background, how you had experience and you dealt with youth before.
Mm-hmm.
I really think it should be a strong point for the officers to bring people who have not dealt with youth or Black youth, because I think that's where the real growth is, and that's what we're really lacking in this community and this nation overall. And I think it should be in a point to, I see you guys are here and that's great, but to grab people that are not here and that don't have experience.
Yep, and I agree with you. It's this year for me, it's a start. And when this program continues, and I go back, keep talking to other deputies that have ambition and goals to want to do this, and then hopefully do a process to allow other deputies to be able to do this as well and stuff. And if there's a lot of interest, how our command decide how they want to choose or allow people to come and join the program.
For the young men, what wisdom did you take away most from Black Panther founder Mr. Ford?
What the question was, what wisdom did you take away from Black Panther founder Mr. Ford, which was when we went on the Black Panther tour with Vanport Mosaic? You want to answer, Andre?
Some wisdom I took away, like we can really run our own community for real. We can do it ourselves without asking nobody for nothing. And because he started right there in Albina, and that's really my neighborhood over there, and I didn't know, like I went to King from pre-K to 5th grade, and he told us like they was right there in the school doing lunches, giving away lunches. And one thing the school never taught us about was the Black Panthers, and I never knew that Portland even had a Black Panther party. So one thing I took away, like we can really do it ourselves. We really don't need the police that much. I mean, it's like they keep us safer. They keep us safe, and but I don't think we need them. We can really do it ourselves, police them, or do it ourselves, help the community ourselves, or whatever. So yeah, that's one thing I took away. We can really take over the community ourselves, and that's one thing I feel like Black people, the Black community really needs is to build back up our community. We need to take our community back for real.
I hope you run for city council one day.
This one for Travell. What is the most important thing you learned from the program?
You specifically.
We know it's a family member.
Or one thing I learned from the program was the most important thing I believe that I learned in this program was just knowing your rights in general, just knowing how to approach the police, knowing what you're going to do when you go to the police, knowing how to talk to them, knowing to stay calm, knowing not to antagonize anything. And that was the most important thing I realized in this program.
Officers, have you been able to acknowledge any subconscious biases about young black men?
Have you been able to officers? Have you been able to acknowledge any subconscious bias about black men?
I'll do that, and I can be lighthearted. So, might assume people, different ages, different ethnicities aren't going to have as much in common. I was really surprised. There's certain radio podcasts I like. My friends aren't interested when I tell them, hey, you should watch this video or listen to these podcasts. They aren't interested. And it turned out Ristam actually likes two of my favorite ones we were talking. So I think it just shows that you can't assume anybody's going to have any certain interest or any certain education or any hobbies, that just based on who they are or where they come from.
Thank you, man. Anybody else want to answer that? Going once, going twice. Next question.
Next question. I'm wondering what the youth would tell their friends about this program. Would you recommend it to your friends?
Wondering what?
Sit down.
The question was, I'm wondering what the youth would say to their friends about this program and if they would recommend it.
I would 1000% recommend this program to so many people. Because I don't know if my brother's watching this right now with my mom, but if he, when he does become 15, and if he is still living down here, I would recommend him to join the program. And I would recommend a lot of black young men to try joining this program. There might not be a lot of black young men be able to join because of COVID, but if by next summer COVID is over, yes, if COVID is over, there will be a lot more room for a lot more people in the program. And yeah. Somebody, get over here.
He said, don't ever What am I saying? He said, don't just recommend this to other black kids. So pretty much, let me translate what my guy was trying to say to y'all. So pretty much what he was trying to say was, yes, he would recommend it to his friends, but he got distracted by Corona and didn't really know what he wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
But I feel like his personal reasoning is because he found a whole new family through this. Like he found a whole bunch of new brothers through this. So that's his main reason for why he would have wanted. Like I know Jury after this, I promise y'all not gonna see this part, but Jury gonna be like, he gonna know that we had fun doing this, and he's gonna know that we did it our way and we did it right, but he's still gonna grill us talking about, damn, y'all would not stop laughing. And I promise y'all not gonna see this, but we're gonna be dying in the bottom of our hearts after this is all over. But yeah, pretty much I'm pretty sure most of these guys, if not all these guys, would recommend this to a friend because they had fun through it. Yeah, it's gonna be bumpy when they first join, but they still had fun, laughed a lot. A lot of tears were shed through laughter. Like we get on this man 24/7. Like I keep bringing him up because he's our main target. Like we roast him the most. But yeah, pretty much yes, we would recommend it. We would recommend it.
I like it good. Thank you for the laughs. I have one question up here. How has all the media glare on the turmoil around policing here in Portland affected your experiences in the internship this summer? Let's get one of our youth and one of our officers to answer that. So just the media and things that are going on about protesting and the murder of George Floyd, like how has that, how has it affected your experience in the program this summer? I think Ristam, you'd be a good person to talk about that maybe. And then maybe an officer after that.
Wait, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, it was just like, how has the media glare on the turmoil around policing here in Portland affected your experiences in the internship this summer? You know, all the attention on the murder of George Floyd.
So initially I was like hesitant to join the program because of my own views on the police. And the issue that I had was that the officers would tell me like feel good statements, but that's not what I was seeing by their coworkers. And that's not what I was seeing with my own eyes when I was out there protesting. So that's like one issue that I had with the police officers and kind of like their views on some things, I guess. That makes sense.
News time was coming.
Step up, right? All right, can you just repeat the question? Just refresh.
The question was, sorry, I lost that. Someone have it.
Thanks.
How is the glare of the media and like the turmoil that's gone on here in Portland personally, right, with the protests, with the murder of George Floyd, and everything that's gone on, how has that affected either your experience in the program or just how you approach it?
Okay, and real quick, I'm Brock Rosenthal, also from Lake Oswego. This is my first year in the program. So I think from an officer standpoint, you know, we've seen a lot of negativity towards police, and I think some days it was hard to wake up and go to work when you felt like everybody was kind of against you. But again, being here, speaking with everybody, understanding why there are those feelings, realizing that everybody has a different history, different experiences. And so my experience in this program specifically, it was great to hear those experiences, to again, kind of recognize that everybody has a different opinion. Everybody has different pasts. We aren't all, we're biased because we hang out with cops all the time. We think, you know, again, kind of like I think Matt was saying earlier with just Officer Gabe was saying earlier with just their experiences. You know, they hang out with police officers all the time. That's what we know, and so just getting to relate and share stories with each other was great for me, and I'm sure everybody else.
And let me just ask a follow-up question. One of your personal moments in this program just stood out to you that you just took away.
A personal moment?
Yeah, something that just stood out.
I don't know if it was a specific moment, but just kind of going back to sharing those stories with realizing we all have kind of the same, some similar stories and similar backgrounds, and we all care about our family and we all want to go home and we all want to be safe. So just, you know, having those relationships and building that trust with each other, I think was great.
And if you guys can start just giving a little squirt of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
It comes up kind of fast.
Watery. Cool.
So, how are you sharing your experiences with your It's Trevi. How are you sharing your experiences with your fellow officers?
I'm not an officer. Yes, eventually. I mean, I think every city in this country could use a program that has a space for young black men. You know, there's a tremendous need. The challenge is just being able to refine what we have here. It's each year that we run it, we learn something new. This is not a program that the first year it happened, we got it right. We made a lot of mistakes. My number one goal as the program manager and overseer of the director of it is to make sure this is a safe space for the young men so that they can share their truths. To bring officers into a room with young black men, especially in today's world, is not something that can just be done just off the whim. You have to really consider the power dynamics that go behind it. You have to consider, no, come on, please. you have to consider all the pieces that go into it to make that space safe. And so as we expand it, it's not just like, oh, every city wants it, so let's just do it there. There has to be individuals who are really passionate about the work and who really understand how to make that space safe for everybody who's in it. So goal, eventually get it to other cities, but right now just really focusing on the young men in Portland. Baby steps, yeah.
I'm curious what the interns and Mr. Drury's peers think about their participation in the program and engagement with people.
Yeah, so that's a tough one. So I'm gonna turn over to the youth. Just like what your peers think about you being in the program and engaging with police officers. Looks like Malcolm wants to go. Yeah.
I know for my peers, I think my mom's told a few people, but I know her personally, she's really wanted me to take this. And I think I was the first person to like say like, hey, gotta do this. And she was like, sure, you need something to do with your summer. Otherwise you're gonna just sit around. But by the end of it, she's really happy that I did. She can already tell that it made like a whole family for me, and that it's taught me so much, that it's given me what I should do in the future that I'm pretty sure no other program or no other thing in school would ever teach me. And just from that, I know she's very happy that I did do this. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they cool with me taking it too. So I guess those are my peers. But yeah, that's what I gotta say about it.
Anybody else just like that feeling of like, like the friends you work with the police and they don't really know all things going on? Man, forget them.
Oh, thank you.
I'll just say this quick thing. So like, for me personally, I never really cared what people thought about my decisions or like things that I do. But I solely joined the program because I wanted to find a community of young Black men, especially within like one of the widest major cities in America. And me going to like a private Catholic school, I also struggle with connecting with Black people because there's not many of us there. So the main reason I joined Word is Bond was to find a sense of community and connect with other young Black men like myself.
And I would just add that too. The challenging thing for me, in today's world is that people don't see the internal workings of Word is Bond. They just see like, oh, you're working with police. So as the executive director, people judge it and just say like, you're just putting young Black men in harm's way by engaging them with officers. We shouldn't talk to them. I don't personally believe that. And again, if they would actually see the conversations we would have, if they see like when we're having our own dialogues, like the space, and like when we got to meet last Monday for the first time in person, everybody got to wear their suits, and just the energy that attracts from people, and the self-worth that people feel. There's so many layers to Word is Bond. So that's what pushes me going. You just got to kind of like, isolate yourself from that. And also realize that a lot of people talk about things that they aren't experiencing themselves. Too much goes on today where people are not talking to the other side. They make assumptions, and they have never even talked to an officer. They never even sat down with a young Black man and had a conversation. So and it's so easy to do that on social media, to look at a picture and say, oh, that picture does not look like, I don't understand the picture, so I just make a judgment based on it. Or I saw these officers on TV, but I never sat down and had those conversations. And so it's, what I would just say in one word, it's complex. It's very, very complex. But for the people who are actually have the courage to do it, there's a lot to be learned, and to really believe that your side, no matter what side you are on, has the entire truth, is to miss so much. And I believe that everybody has a piece of the truth. Yeah, we'll take maybe like 3 or 4 more questions. And then any from the audience too.
I would like to know if both parties feel safer now after being in this program. Do they feel less anxiety or dealing with one another?
Okay, yeah, we'll open that question up. Yep. It looks like Dre's going to answer this for the youth, and then or the young men, and then we'll have one of the officers answer as well. You want to take that all the way up too?
I'm gonna say no because it's just them. They're only a certain amount. That's a small amount of police. That's only a couple police officers, and I live in this city. A couple of them from different cities. I know, like they didn't spread the whole word to everybody. So I still feel the same. But you feel me? So yeah, I feel the same, and I feel like I just feel the same. Yeah, I feel the same.
You want to talk?
I just gotta repeat what Dre just said. I feel the same too. I got to know these guys a lot better, but it doesn't change how I do my job day to day. It changes how I view these guys as individuals because that's who they are. They each have their unique story, but I treat everybody with respect and dignity, and I try and listen a lot more than I previously did because that's half the battle is listening, understanding, and just doing your best to just have a conversation. It's a human interaction, and that's I'm very privileged to have a lot of these human interactions with these wonderful young men. So, anything else?
Yeah, I think I need to add something. And another reason why I feel the same because I feel like one thing that it might change my it will change my feelings about it if the community and the police officer or the officers get to know like all the officers in Portland or something get to know the community better. You feel me? That when they know the community, now the community know you. You feel me? You're not gonna have that attention no more. So that's why I feel like it can help too. So yeah.
Great job.
I'm also just reiterate Dre's statement. I just feel the same. I think if we understand how police came about, they were never meant to serve Black people. I do enjoy this space where we have a place where we can have dialogue and conversation and empower ourselves. But I do feel the same because we do see firsthand and secondhandly what police do to Black men and women.
And going back to what I said earlier about we learn throughout this program, it's unrealistic to expect that in 6 weeks, we are going to overhaul how these young men's 17, 16, 15 years of experience in just that time. And so as we refine our program, we are more realistic about what the goals are, what is possible. So I would add that, but I think Dre, Munga, and the rest of them have answered really well. I want to give any space just for the last question to the two women in the audience. I know they're both mothers and supporters, I believe, of our interns. So do either of y'all have a question that you would want to close us out with? No pressure. If there's not, no. So I guess I would just like to invite two folks that haven't spoke just to give us one final highlight or one thing that they're taking away from the program, one officer and one youth. And I think Zakir has been nominated.
Thank you. I'm the only one who hasn't spoken.
Yeah.
Wait, so, what am I supposed to talk about? What am I supposed to talk about?
One thing I'm gonna take away from the program is, oh yeah, I forgot. Don't know why I did it like that. That was weird. One thing I'm gonna take away from the program is kind of like the same thing I took away last year. Going to Lincoln, I don't really have that many Black friends. Like I just got some I grew up with, but it's like 2 or 3. And when I come to this program, I just get like more and more friends just around the city and Black friends because honestly, a Black boy needs that. Yeah. And Lincoln, as you know, is a very, very white school. So yeah, even Malcolm just said very. So yeah. All right, who else want to talk? Yeah, I don't talk. I told y'all I don't talk. I told y'all I don't talk.
So one thing that I took away, I know we talked a lot about tonight, the similarities that we learned, I know from the officer perspective and hearing the young men's stories, But one of the things that I found was super powerful and impactful to me was a pretty stark difference in growing up as a white kid compared to a black kid was the story that young black men have, not the story, but the conversation, right? The talk about what to do if you get stopped by the police. And I never had that conversation with my mom or dad because they didn't worry about me getting stopped by the police. And I think on our last engagement day, we talked about in this room, we talked about the youth talked about something that they want the officers to do, right? Leaving this program. I don't remember exactly how Mr. Drew posted, but Rissom said, go back to your departments and talk to the younger officers about what you learned in this program. And I think what Rissom was saying is talk to these young guys and change the culture, right? And that's what I plan to do is take these experiences and go back to my department and these young guys coming up, talk to them about it, right? And in Oregon City, we don't have a chance to interact with a lot of different other communities because it's 95% white or whatever it is. But the young police officers that come up, they're very impressionable, and I think it's our job to train them the right way and talk about these things. And so I know we were all challenged, and I just want to make sure Rissom heard that. I heard what he said loud and clear, and I'm going to try to take that experience and share it with the folks at my department because I think it's really important. So that's what I plan to do, and that's one of my biggest takeaways. You shutting this down?
I just want to thank everyone for attending virtually and physically, saying it again. And we also want to thank James, Lorenzo, and Will for everything, for video, for sound, for everything. So we actually make this possible so everyone can view it from wherever they are from home. And we all thank you for joining our Rising Leaders 2020 Community Showcase. Yeah. We out.
Hold on. No one.